Why are you here? Why are you not in the respective state that you're wanted from? Or are you going to mess with my city? Because if you are, I'm just going to keep you in custody. My question to you is this: would that money be better put in hiring a lawyer in Virginia versus getting him out? Oh, I'm sorry. Am I hurting your feelings that you're going to have to stay in jail a couple weeks?
Mr. Williams and Mr. Loving, Carl's right here, and Amy's on her way up.
Lovings has a girlfriend in court today. I've spoken to his mother, and she's willing and able to post bond for him. He does not have any pending cases, doesn't have any prior criminal history. He has been arrested before in North Carolina, but that case was dismissed per him.
Been making the rounds. You're the hopscotch into state to state, huh? You playing hopscotch, huh? But with states.
They were detained in Virginia and given a traffic citation, but there was nothing observed or found in their car. Now, Mr. Williams is on probation in Chambers County, Anahuac, for possession of stolen firearm, which makes me think that maybe that firearm that he's put on probation for in Chambers County may have been what they were arrested for, had the warrants for in Virginia, because they were both there. But he's on probation. That's just surmise, because it's the only thing that makes sense. But in any event, both of them are willing or requesting bond.
Okay.
And they're both from Houston. They have ties to the community. And
the question is, why are they in Houston?
Order in the court.
Why are you here? Why are you not in the respective state that you're wanted from?
We didn't know that all.
These are rhetorical questions. I'm not asking you to answer this now. See, guys, I've never met you before. I don't know you. The only way I get to know you guys is how you look on paper. Anything that you tell me is going to go. Anything that you tell me or you tell me is going to go in this ear and it's going to go out that ear, because whenever anybody gets here in front of me, it's all little bunnies jumping in the woods. But then when you get out the door, you turn into a different person. I don't know you. So that's why I asked Amy to tell me about you guys, to see where you from, how long have the warrants been outstanding, what are the warrants for, and are you a dangerous person? Because that to me is the most important thing. Are you a dangerous person? Or are you going to mess with my city? Because if you are, I'm just going to keep you in custody. So you are Mr. Lovings.
That's me.
You were Lovings. Okay. And you were Mr. Williams. Got it. All right. So
Mr. Lovings does not have any prior criminal history, no prior convictions, not on probation.
So Lovings is wanted out of Virginia for theft of a firearm.
Yes. He also had some North Carolina history. They had concerns that it's actually a warrant as opposed to just being an arrest and dismissal. In our system, we only see the booked arrest. So if there is a warrant, we're asking for no bond. If there's no warrant,
I mean, if you don't know, then I'm not prepared to do anything until you guys know exactly what's going on in North Carolina. I mean, is there a warrant? Is he on probation? What? Until we have some kind of certainty. If you're not sure, then I'm not ready to do anything. And I need to know everything that's out there. You know, if you're on probation, is there a warrant out there? Does this case originate out there and you got caught somewhere else? I don't know. So until we're able to find that out, you know, we can do this quick. It doesn't take a long time. You know, it's not like we're going to reset this a week or 2 weeks to get this stuff done. We can try to get it done later today. If not, we can roll it tomorrow.
Roll it tomorrow, Judge?
Yeah, to give them enough time to reach out to North Carolina to figure out what's going on, because I want them, and I need to be 100% certain what's going on with you guys. If you have multiple warrants in multiple jurisdictions, there's no way I'm going to give you a bond. And that's what I need to know. Now you, Mr. Williams, what kind of criminal history, Amy, does Mr. Williams have?
most recently, he was put on a deferred for state jail theft out of the 262nd.
And that's the one in Anahuac?
No, that's not 262nd.
Here, also had a
What are we talking about? Is it Keith Trick?
Keith Williams.
Keith Trick Williams.
He's on probation in Chambers County.
And Harris County.
And
I don't show any, I mean,
The charges are wrong. We never got arrested in Virginia. We got arrested in North Carolina. We never got caught with a gun in Virginia. So I don't know. I don't even know what this is, honestly.
So you're telling me these charges originate from North Carolina?
Oh, we bonded out in North Carolina, and the case got dismissed. The one in Virginia, we never even got arrested in Virginia. Went to jail in Virginia.
The courtroom was silent except for the low hum of the ceiling fan and the faint shuffle of papers. Everyone could feel the tension, the heavy kind that makes even breathing sound too loud. At the defense table sat Ethan Miller, a 19-year-old with an ego much bigger than his sense of accountability. Dressed in designer clothes, his smirk was the first thing anyone noticed, calculated, sharp, the kind that said he believed he owned the room. He leaned back, twirling his pen like he was waiting for a show to end, not realizing that the real show was about to begin, and he was the star performer of his own downfall. Across the room sat the prosecutor, calm but razor-focused. To her, Ethan was just another entitled teen who thought charm could erase consequences. And behind the bench, Judge Marianne Caldwell, a woman known for her iron will and sense of justice. She'd seen hundreds of defendants in her 20 years, but there was something about Ethan's arrogance that immediately rubbed her the wrong way. The bailiff called the courtroom to order. Ethan barely glanced up. His mother sat behind him, eyes red from sleepless nights, hands clasped in quiet prayer. His father wasn't there, he'd given up months ago, unable to bear another hearing filled with excuses and broken promises. Ethan's crime wasn't small. What started as reckless fun with friends had spiraled into chaos. A stolen car, a high-speed chase, property damage, and an innocent man in the hospital. Yet Ethan acted like it was all one big misunderstanding. It's not like anyone died, he had said during pre-trial interviews, laughing. Now, as the judge shuffled her papers, the prosecutor rose to her feet. Your Honor, she began, her tone steady but charged, the defendant has shown no remorse. Despite multiple opportunities to take responsibility, Mr. Miller continues to mock the process, treating this court like a stage. Ethan chuckled softly, whispering to his lawyer, she's really going for an Oscar today. The microphone picked it up. The entire courtroom turned. Judge Caldwell froze mid-sentence. Mr. Miller, she said quietly, did you just make a joke during your sentencing hearing? Ethan shrugged. Just saying, Your Honor, I think this whole thing's being blown out of proportion. Her eyes narrowed. Blown out of proportion. You endangered lives. A man is still recovering in a hospital bed because of your actions. Ethan leaned forward. With all due respect, Your Honor, I think people are just trying to make me look bad. I'm not some criminal. The silence after that sentence was deafening. Even his lawyer buried his face in his hands. Judge Caldwell leaned back in her chair, taking a slow breath, as if restraining the urge to deliver the verbal equivalent of a thunderstorm. Then she spoke. Mr. Miller, I've dealt with hardened criminals who've shown more humility than you. But Ethan wasn't listening. He was too busy scanning the courtroom, smirking at a couple of local reporters sitting near the back. He thought the cameras made him untouchable. The prosecutor continued, outlining every reckless choice he had made that night. The stolen car, the laughter caught on dashcam, the near collision with a family crossing the street. Each detail landed like a hammer. Still, Ethan yawned. Finally, it was the defense's turn. His lawyer, exhausted, tried to salvage what little sympathy remained. Your Honor, he said, my client is young. He made mistakes. He's from a good family, has no prior record, and has shown willingness to turn his life around. Judge Caldwell's pen tapped the desk. Has he? She asked coldly. The lawyer hesitated. He plans to attend community college this fall and. Ethan interrupted, yeah, once this nonsense is over. The judge's hand froze mid-tap. She slowly removed her glasses. Nonsense. For the first time, the smirk faltered. Ethan's confidence slipped. He glanced at his mother, her face pale with dread. Mr. Miller, Judge Caldwell said, her tone low but steady, you've spent this entire trial behaving like a spectator. But this is not a game show. You don't win prizes here. You win consequences. The gallery murmured. I've seen arrogance, she continued, but rarely have I seen someone so determined to dig his own grave with his own mouth. Ethan swallowed hard. I've reviewed the evidence, the statements, and your complete disregard for the damage you caused. You've mocked the law, the victims, and this court. You think your privilege protects you, but the law does not bow to ego. The prosecutor folded her arms, eyes gleaming with restrained satisfaction. Judge Caldwell leaned forward. Stand up, Mr. Miller. Ethan rose, shaky now. His bravado cracked under the weight of her stare. You said earlier this was being blown out of proportion, she said softly. Let's see if you still think that after hearing my decision. She picked up a document and began reading the sentence. For charges of grand theft auto, reckless endangerment, and leaving the scene of an accident, this court sentences you to, she paused. Ethan's heartbeat pounded in his ears. 8 years in state prison. Gasps filled the courtroom. Ethan's knees buckled. 8 years. For what? For your actions, she said firmly. For the man who might never walk properly again. For the countless lives you risked. And for every smirk you thought made you clever. He turned to his lawyer in panic. Do something. You said I'd get probation. The lawyer sighed. I said I'd try. Ethan's mother sobbed quietly. The boy who once believed rules didn't apply to him was now being escorted by 2 officers. The smirk was gone, replaced by raw disbelief. As they reached the door, the judge's voice stopped him. Mr. Miller. He turned, eyes red. I hope that by the time you leave that facility, you'll understand that freedom is not something you inherit, it's something you earn. The doors shut. The echo of metal on metal filled the courtroom. Weeks later, local news ran the story. Teen sentenced to 8 years after showing no remorse. It sparked debate, criticism, and even sympathy from some who claimed the punishment was too harsh. But for Judge Caldwell, justice wasn't about public opinion, it was about accountability. Inside prison walls, Ethan's transformation began quietly. The first few months were brutal. No expensive clothes, no special treatment, no cameras. Just concrete, noise, and reality. The same arrogance that once shielded him became his weakness. He tried to act tough, but inside, fear consumed him. One night, he sat on the edge of his bunk, staring at the cold floor. For the first time, he thought about the man in the hospital, the man whose family didn't know if he'd walk again. The laughter that once echoed in his head now haunted him. He wrote a letter to the judge. It wasn't polished, but it was honest. Your Honor, I don't expect forgiveness. I just want to say I finally understand. I thought freedom meant doing whatever I wanted. Now I know it means respecting others enough not to take theirs away. Months turned into years. When his sentence was finally reduced for good behavior, Ethan walked out, not the same cocky brat who once thought he could outsmart the system, but a man who carried the weight of his choices. He visited the victim's family. They didn't forgive him immediately. But when the man he'd hurt said, "At least you're trying to change," Ethan broke down. Years later, he started speaking at youth programs, warning others about arrogance, ego, and the price of just one mistake. And somewhere, in a quiet courthouse, Judge Caldwell received a letter that ended with one line. Thank you for slapping me with reality when I needed it most.